Hi, Mynoo.
Hello.
Yes,
Hi.
we've got people in the waiting room, waiting in Zoom. But anything you want to share with our Facebook Live visitors before we tap into the Zoom room?
So I have a collection of 108 pearls of wisdom, and these are intuitive guidelines that I receive. And what I'm also shown is that each pearl of wisdom by itself is whole and complete to such an extent that each one, if we practice the practices that I choose to share that come through, will enable us to create a world that works for everyone, including ourselves. So I'm always excited about the sequencing of these pearls, and also very excited about some words that um, are that have a meaning, generally for us as we've grown up and as we live our life. For them to come in as a pearl of wisdom, like success, is one of those that many of us desire. In fact, all of us desire. And it's quite unique in what it actually means for different people. So it was quite exciting for me, that it is one of the pearls of wisdom, as opposed to just a meaning we give something, which
I have a
means that is,
question.
yeah.
Sorry, Mynoo, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I'm so curious because I don't even know, like, when and how these pearls of wisdom come to you. Is it unique and you're, in the shower and all of a sudden, bam, here comes another part of the pearl?
Um, so so when before we design the series, as we get towards the end of a series that you and I have been hosting, I receive an intuitive guidance that could literally be like in a shower, and it's like, okay, the next series is going to be about this. So often it's about 2 or 3 sessions before the first one ends. So when I received the 108 pearls of wisdom, um, as a title, which was like, okay, so we know we have 108 of these. I didn't realize that each session would focus on one pearl.
Mm.
I thought it would be a collection of 2 or 3. Um, and so so I always have learned to ask the right questions. And really we are quite a grand presence of our whole and completeness, where our physical body is a very small manifestation of that grandeur. you know
Mm.
so when I say I know that the full grand presence of all of me has got many aspects of inner wisdom that can come through in the form of intuitive guidance. So I knew that 108 is quite a lot, and I was just curious to know what sort of topics are we talking about here.
Oh,
um
we're so
you know
lucky. I'm going to switch over and let some of our guests in. We have a variety of people coming in that join us every week. Hi, Sarah. Welcome. We have Karen and we have Gail on board. So I'll continue to handle the back end. We're just so fortunate that you get to share, that we get to have this incredible wisdom shared with us every week. So thank you, Mynoo. And welcome to everyone. Linda is joining us. Hi, Linda. Good to see you. Always great to see Mary. We have guests from all over the globe. Hi, Lee and Joanne. Great to see you, Connie and Jill. It's like they were all waiting at the door. So, really great to see everyone tonight. Thank you so much. And we're just jumping on.
Hello.
Yes, our lovely 18th Pearl of Wisdom. So, Mynoo, I'll let you carry on and I'll just handle the back room here, letting all of our
Okay.
guests.
Okay, thank you, Catherine, and hello, everyone. Yes, I'm in Dubai now for a few days. So here we go. We are on the 18th Pearl of Wisdom, and today's pearl is all about success. And Catherine asked me the question about, how do I know that what the pearl is? Do I just get it in the shower, or um, do I create them? I would say I'm a co-creator of what is being shared, and it isn't quite like I get it in the shower the week, a few days before I'm about to share them. Um, I do receive the topic of the series a few weeks before we end a particular series. So when I received the 108 Pearls of Wisdom, that's when I was very curious to know what sort of pearls are we talking about. Um, and it was, so I received a whole collection of these pearls. I was shown intuitively the characteristic of each pearl as something that is whole and complete in itself. And if we only ever took on focusing on one pearl, it really does transform our world in a way that it becomes a world that works for everyone. And since there are 108 of these, and each week we have an opportunity to focus on one of these, I received the topics of the 108 pearls. The sequencing is what I received before the week prior to when I'm about to share them. And there is a logic to the sequencing as well. So it's quite interesting for me to engage with the 18, today's the 18th one, and see how each one builds one after the other. And here we are today talking about success, having gone through prosperity, wealth, health, conflict, certainty, a whole variety of those. And here we are talking about success. So it's I guess a form of technology in itself, how this wisdom comes through and how precise it is, how implementable it is. Um, I guess it's a little bit of a of a of an order to the universe that I placed, which is if there's any wisdom that I am to share, then I want it to be such that it can be implemented, and such that it actually makes sense logically, and it is unbridled in terms of it. It also opens us up creatively. And that's what is quite visible and evident in all of the pearls that are coming through. So today we are talking about success. You know, when I engage with success, you know, there's a period in my life, in one of the stretches of spiritual awakening that I went through, I felt that there were different types of words, you know, and I got that our words give us our world. And I got that, you know, there are certain words which are like decision words. You know, we make a decision and that defines the choices we make, that defines the experiences we have. So you've heard me talk about, you know, happiness is a decision word. You know, happiness is a decision you make. And when you make that decision, joy is the action you seek. It really is as simple as that. You know, and similarly, I also saw that there were some words which really were non-words. They were like meaning words. You know, we which is a meaning we give to facts that have occurred. And the meaning words, whilst they are non-words, they're a description, in fact, of a meaning we've given something. They really do define our experience of life. So once we understand that this is a meaning word, then we can actually engage with the facts, and the meaning doesn't start controlling us. So like good, bad is there are that those are meaning words, and I sincerely thought that success was a meaning word, and yet it came into this basket of pearls of wisdom. So a meaning word is a non-word. It's really a description. Success, given that it is a pearl of wisdom, means it is actually not a meaning word. It is something that has got depth to it, that has got gravitas, and that has the ability to propel us forward should we take it on in its fullness. So I was excited when I started creating this body of work to be shared today, to understand what success is and what is this depth about it. So here's what got revealed. Given that success is it's a pearl of wisdom, it is not a meaning word, so it has got some gravitas to it. It has become very loaded, you know, and uh, the way you know that something is a meaning word and something isn't, you know, we can attach meaning words to it. It's good success in a good way. We feel somehow that success deserves an adjective, for it to be received in its wholeness. So we know that success by itself is not a meaning thing. It is, in fact, an experience which, in its whole and completeness, has the ability to have us be stationed in whole and complete. So, looking at success as a pearl of wisdom, I was curious to know what are the secrets that define this success in such a way that it becomes regenerative. And that felt like something that would be worth understanding and implementing. So here I am sharing with you these 7 secrets of regenerative success. The first one is it's about sharing. So sharing is the phrase that defines the first secret. Now, what do I mean by sharing as a secret? It is about sharing how we define what success actually means. It is sharing openly with vulnerability if that's what's needed, as opposed to gloating. And sharing in that way, coming from a space of humility, actually anchors success as a declaration, anchors what we are sharing that constitutes success as a declaration. So if you are looking at sharing, then you ask questions of yourself. Okay, I'm about to share success. What you're really sharing is, what does success actually mean for you? Now, success also, in terms of what it means for you, could have a hierarchy. There's an overarching element to it. What does that mean? And there is an element which could be very focused on a particular relationship or a business or a particular task you've taken on. And as long as you know that when you go into a space and you're going to be sharing what success constitutes for you, what it means, you are actually putting a stake in the ground, as a declaration that this is what success means for me. Now, people will make their own assumptions. And when you share, there is an assumption that you're sharing it with another person or other people. And yes, that is so. But most often, we do not share what success constitutes for us in its wholeness with ourselves, even. So, for example, I want, if I get to this weight, I've been successful in my endeavors to lose weight. So when I apply the sharing secret of success to that, I ask, so what? I get to that weight, so what? And then there's a level of elaboration that comes in. So I feel light, I don't go out of breath. I can just go to a normal shop and buy clothes, not have to have them tailored or altered. I feel like I belong, to with everyone else. I ask, so what? And then I go into the next layer of whatever chooses to come through, until when I did this piece, so what, so what, so what? And you literally get to a point where after that, it is just so, there is no so what left anymore. And so then once I got to that point where there was no so what left, I really got that what success meant for me was all aspects of my life coexisting with ease, joy, and grace. It was doing this so what analysis on losing weight, getting to a particular weight as my mark of success. That's how it began. And it was doing that analysis that gave me the understanding of full spectrum well-being: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, social, and environmental. So my declaration, and just in doing this sharing exercise for myself, I literally opened up infinite possibilities of richness that I could embrace and embody in my life, and know that I could have access to that. And my declaration became one that was enriching, not just to myself, but also to anyone that I shared it with. And that gave birth to the label that you've heard me talk about, and Catherine has very much taken it on, which is extraordinary life. Living an extraordinary life where all aspects of life coexist with ease, grace, and joy. And that is what I started sharing. And that became like that one-liner. Having been in the movie business, that's one, you really focus your attention on that one-liner. It's not even a 30-second elevator pitch there. It's literally a one-liner. And then that invokes sufficient curiosity for you to then go deeper and further. Having done this exercise, starting from the sharing secret of success, meant that I could go into any level of depth that I wanted to. I could have this communication about an extraordinary life, what it means, with anyone from any culture. And the most exciting part about it is it anchored that extraordinary life in the present, right here, right now. So my mind just knew I had it. I had an extraordinary life, because there would be at least one or several areas where multiple aspects of my life coexisted. So the mind relaxed a little, allowing me to step into my heart, which in fact allows me to be present in the presence. And then I started tapping into my inner wisdom. So you can now imagine, if you are to look at your profession, you as a professional, or if you are to look at you and in your business, or you are to look at your business per se, and you embark on this first secret which is of success. And I did that, by the way. I actually did that when I chose to come back to India and know that I was going to create a business that was going to focus on inspired leadership. The question there was, okay, what is success there? So it was like, what am I going to share about this business? And that inquiry about sharing my success in this new incarnation of me in business, actually, the so what iterations finally led to what you've heard me talk about, which is extraordinary results. And then when you ask me what does that mean, and then I go into, okay, extraordinary results has got three components to it: unprecedented performance, operational excellence, transforming quality of life for yourself, your stakeholders, and the planet. All of that came from the sharing secret being dived into. It didn't begin with extraordinary results. That was the end of the so what iteration. It began with, I'm going to be, if I'm taking on business now, it's going to be successful. So what does that look like? Well, definitely want to have this extraordinary life where all aspects of my life coexist. Okay, so what? And then it went into the multiple stakeholders that exist in my life. And then it was, so what? And then I started looking at the full spectrumness of that success in business. What does it actually mean physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, socially, and environmentally? If all of this was happening, what would actually be going on? So what? And that gave rise to, right, what I'm talking about here is unprecedented performance. There's more to it. And then that gave me access to the operational excellence and quality of life, and all the three going together. And then it was like, well, so what? So actually, we are defining a new business model here. We are introducing a new vibe into how economic development, economic regeneration occurs. And we are creating and anchoring in the world this whole concept of extraordinary results. And that is what inspired leadership actually means. That's the intention of it. So the first secret is sharing. If I'm now going to share with the world what it means to be successful for me, what success actually means for me, what am I going to share? And then you go into the different iterations. So what? And see what else shows up. Keep going until there is no more so what. It's just so. Then you're ready to go into the next secret. There is a sequence to this. These 7 secrets are not random. You begin with sharing, because that gives you the precision that is greatly enhanced and enriched, and in some cases anchored as you move to this next secret. The first secret can take a long time, and you can imagine if you were applying it to yourself, and let's say you were taking your business, you were taking your professional presence, or you were taking a particular relationship, even understanding what success constitutes and going through these iterations, there is such a richness of revelations that you achieve for yourself that it's okay to take whatever time it takes. I like to be quite systematic when I'm going through a body of work like this, and I also know that there is a natural time collapse that happens with everyone, and it's just a matter of you allowing yourself to experience it for yourself. There are several of you here who've done certainly the business work with me, and you've all experienced, every one of you who's done the business work has experienced the joy of time collapse in one form or another. So as these revelations happen, dots get connected, and literally time collapse experience takes place, where you experience success even by engaging and delving in the first secret. So it's okay for it to take whatever time it takes. There is no rush. And I'm going to return to that as I talk about one of the secrets going forward. Now, the second secret. Once you have really become clear about your sharing about success, and in you becoming clear about the sharing of your success, you've already acknowledged it. And in your acknowledgement, you have anchored it. It's become a stake in the ground. So then you move forward. And the next secret is uncompromising. I mean, I could have chosen any word, Unstoppable is what I thought my logical brain was getting excited about. And yet, the word that defines, that labels the secret is uncompromising as opposed to anything else with a U. So uncompromising as a secret, what that is about and how you work with it is you become uncompromising about how you have defined what success constitutes. It immediately takes out the vibe of compromise. It's literally like it just neutralizes it completely. So at every step of the way that you are engaged in bringing forth success as you have defined it. And the interesting thing is, in utilizing the way I'm asking you to define success, but in all those different ways in which you keep going deeper and deeper in how the sharing secret is implemented, you have anchored every little nuance of what constitutes success. So when you bring in the secret of uncompromising, it's as if your antennas are very alert and you immediately know when you're going off track. And you can, as a matter of choice, then be uncompromising and get back on track, ensuring that every step you take is a step in the direction of that fullness of success as you've defined it. Because remember, these are 7 secrets of regenerative success. Now, what is regenerative? This secret is a very important ingredient for making success regenerative. Because literally what this one does is, it means every step you take in the direction of how you have defined what success is ensures that that effort, the result it produces, regenerates a deeper experience of success because you're being uncompromising. And you're clear about what you're being uncompromising about. And that is what makes success, as you define it, an unequivocal experience for you and for anyone else that is choosing to engage with you as a collaborator or a co-creator, or even choosing to engage as an observer of you being on your path to success. It is the secret of uncompromising. So uncompromising is like waking up your own inner vigilante. And it is that which keeps a vigil on you becoming discerning about the steps you are taking. It also is, you also heard me talk about inspired velocity quite a lot. This uncompromising secret applied to the secret of sharing, of success. The combination of the two really add that very powerful inspired aspect to the velocity with which you experience the fullness of success. Velocity equals speed in the right direction. And the direction you've defined. It becomes your barometer for discernment. Now you can bring on the third secret. And this third secret is about certainty. It's actually the label that has been chosen by my intuitive guidance is clarity. That's the label for this secret. And this clarity anchors certainty. So, having engaged with the first two secrets, you're now ready to roll up your sleeves and go into the third secret of clarity. You ask yourself the question, okay, given where I stand and my quest for success, what are the things I am completely clear about, right? And it could be I'm clear about the experience that I want to have as a result of this success that I've defined. I'm clear about that my family, and I'm just giving you as an example, right? I'm clear about that, there will be no compromise whatsoever in the context of the time that I have with my family, for example. Or it could be that for the next decade, my focus is on really defining and making completely real all the aspects of extraordinary results and have them be visible and evident in all areas of my life. I chose that for myself, for example. And you can choose whatever it is. What am I clear about? See, we just assume. We've defined success, we're clear about it. We've been uncompromising and we've been applying that vigilante, so we are clear about it. Well, how about actually acknowledging what you are clear about at this point? And remember, I've talked about this acknowledgement a few times. And the thing to remember is acknowledging something. It does two things. When you acknowledge something that is negative and is a very low vibe thing, it is one of those laser beam focus, like a weed killer, that is, as a laser beam just targets the roots of whatever it is that may be a low vibe thing. The moment you acknowledge it, acknowledge squirts out that very potent weed killer, and the roots of whatever the negative stuff that you're acknowledging immediately start disintegrating. When you acknowledge something that you wish to anchor, like clarity, acknowledgement by itself literally puts a stake in the ground. It becomes that central duct of a root system, and from that will emerge all the various roots that keep you very grounded and stationed and strong, enabling you to expand as far as you need and wish to expand in the context of success. Asking the question, so what am I clear about at this point? What it does is it starts to open up doorways. It starts to open up doorways into areas that you feel certain about. In the realm where uncertainty is certain, starting to experience certainty in certain areas of your life allows you to go on and uncompromisingly manifest certainty in the way that you want. Asking the question, what am I clear about, also gets you to reconnect with the values that are important to you. So for me, when I did this for myself, I went into, okay, what am I clear about? I get it, extraordinary results. I get that. And I'm going to be uncompromising about tracking these three things for myself, my stakeholders, and the planet: unprecedented performance, operational excellence, transforming quality of life. So what am I clear about? I am clear about that I am the choice in my matter. I choose, and I will always choose. I got clear about, when I said, what am I clear about? It was like, okay, nothing, nobody does anything to me. Things play out, situations play out, experiences play out, different vistas come and go. How I respond is my choice. And it is that which enriches my responsibility, which enriches my ability to respond. Immediately station me in certainty, where I became completely self-reliant. And you know, it gave that it was so empowering to get that power of I choose for myself all the time. I don't have to become an activist about that. Nobody chooses for me anyway. My decisions are my choice. They just are. I became clear about that. And what it did was, and you know, working with it, you can't say what am I clear about, and in its own, it's very enriching. But when you do it as secret number 3 of success, the context is already defined with how you have defined what success actually means in its fullness, as a declaration that you are going to share, that you have already started sharing with yourself and with others. And you've already had the experience of being uncompromising, and now you ask, okay, what am I clear about? You are solidifying the foundation in such a way that you're taking the rigidity away. You're allowing that foundation to have the gravitas upon which you are going to build the rest of your life. And remember, we are in the new norm. And in this new norm, having rigidity takes you away from flow, because unknown is the known, uncertainty is certain, take nothing for granted is the modus operandi. And doing it in this way, in this sequence, you've already anchored the regenerativeness of success that you have defined fully. And that brings in that certainty. Despite uncertainty being certain, even in that realm, there is always something that you can be certain about. And that is an important aspect of keeping you in that state of whole and completeness, which means, you know, lockdown, no lockdown, second variant, third variant, fourth variant, whatever it may be. You can still be in your flow moving forward. Now, once you've gotten what you are clear about, you're now ready for the 4th secret. And the 4th secret is the secret of co-creation. The label that is being used is co-creators. Success in its fullness is always a function of co-creation. Even if you think you're only focusing on Project U right now, and it is something that you feel that you want to hold as a secret for yourself, so you don't want to involve other people yet. The thing to know is success in its wholeness is a direct function of co-creation. You always have co-creators. So when you dive deep into this secret of regenerative success, you actually look at who are my co-creators. And sometimes the who may not be a person at all. it may be actually a what? It could be an environment. Like for me, when I chose that, okay, the next phase of my life is going to be about living an extraordinary life where all aspects of life coexist with ease, grace, and joy. My environment where I was living was going to be a co-creator for me. Because as I got a better and deeper understanding of what that extraordinary life meant, I knew that being surrounded by people who only knew me in my corporate incarnation would actually limit my own ability to get comfortable with the unknown, to be able to experience discomfort of not knowing and do it anyway, knowing that I'm held safe in a container of clarity and certainty that I've created for myself. And I don't always have to get validated by others. As I was developing a nice, healthy respect of my own worthiness, reclaiming my dignity, that environment needed to be different. And I literally made it easy for myself and went for a new place. As opposed to come back to India, I went to Bali. You don't have to take such a drastic measure, but you choose what is your co-creator. Really important to delve in a deep and an expanded way in identifying who they are. They may not all be there. You may not necessarily be able to put a name to a co-creator. Sometimes it'll just be a description of the kind of person or a kind of team or a kind of environment. That's what I had. It was a description. For several weeks until I finally chose it was going to be Bali. And then when I went into business, I was in London, I was in Los Angeles. For me to now be in the realm of business where success meant extraordinary results that were being built on the foundation of an extraordinary life, what is this environment that it's going to occur in? Who are my co-creators? That's where the name of Gaurav came in, Gaurav Gupta. He is a key co-creator. I'd only ever met him twice before that. But I do really follow, because our intuition picks up nuances that our logical mind may not. And as an environment, I got India. And I see why. I mean, I had got myself to a stage where I stopped arguing with myself. And why do I stop arguing with myself? Because the mind is able to relax. Why is the mind able to relax? When you follow these things in this methodical step-by-step way, the mind knows that you're taking care, you really engage with all the nuances. And it knows it's not alone. It doesn't have to keep you in survival. You can actually be in thriving. So you will get your own answers. The question to ask is, who are my co-creators? Or what is a mix of co-creators that I have to, bring in place? We are engaged in the next iteration of amplifying this whole philosophy of humans and humanity stationed in whole and complete, expecting and accepting miracles as their norm. And we are in this process right now, going through each of these 7 secrets of success in that context. And it is quite surprising, the responses and answers you will get when you look at, especially when you come at it in this sequence. Secret number 4, okay, I'm ready to now engage with, who are my co-creators? What is the mix that's going to be brought together as co-creators for this success to be realized in this way. Then you go, once you've done that, that's when you go into the next secret, once you've got your co-creators. And this next secret is the secret of extraordinary. The label is extraordinary. Now here you define what that is. Now when we talk about extraordinary, it is really important to understand that ordinary is an integral part of extraordinary. It is not instead of, it is not as well as. It literally is like a oneness, ordinary and a little bit extra that's there. It isn't something that's untenable either. What it does when you engage with this secret in the context of success, you start defining the ordinary, and then you ask, well, okay, so what does extraordinary actually mean? You start automatically looking at various aspects of how things occur, what occurs, the experiences you have. And in engaging with that inquiry, you start anchoring them as the norm. So I like, when I look at extraordinary, I like to look at it in a full spectrum way. And I go into what's extraordinary: physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, socially, and environmentally. And here, when I'm engaging with it, I'm really defining the experience of extraordinary. What is the experience of extraordinary for me physically? Remember how I began with weight and a number on the weighing scale? And extraordinary for me in a physical sense is really, the stretch of time that I'm able to walk, the stairs that I'm able to climb. It's developed a very interesting richness. It's still quite measurable. Airy-fairiness goes away, and you remain in the enchanting experience of the full spectrum extraordinary. So extraordinary, when I dived into it, it really became a full spectrum living. It evolved from a full spectrum extraordinary life to living. And I know that when I engage in full spectrum living as defined by the secret of extraordinary, in the context of what I have shared as success, aliveness is the end result. So if you are to apply this secret to your business, to your goals, to your intentions, you actually make them alive. You make them come alive. And it is in the aliveness that living occurs. And living can only occur if you actually do have life. So when you look at it in the context of business or a product or a project, just rushing ahead does not necessarily bring aliveness. Yes, it gives you those pheromones and all of that, does do that. But it could be a blip. We're talking about regenerative success here. So engaging with extraordinary as a secret, as one of the secrets, literally arms you, propels you, gives you the steps. Some of them are baby steps, some of them are big long strides, some of them are a really big step up. But you're literally designing, you become not just the architect, you become the creator, the originator, the creator, the architect of success. Success occurs by design. And you experience the journey in its fullness. And you can just imagine going about it in this level of depth and detail. Your mind is really supporting you and not interfering. That little voice in your head, the one that's saying, what little voice? Is she talking about that one? You know, just doesn't need to be there screaming. It can come in from time to time, but doesn't take over. This secret of extraordinary, just like the secret of clarity and the secret of co-creation, really anchored choice. I am the choice in my matter. This secret of extraordinary anchors that worthiness part. And you remember, you activate, you reawaken the remembrance of dignity. We are born with three things. We are born with choice, we are born with dignity, we are born with our unique mastery, source mastery as I call it. The extraordinary secret, engaged with in this way, applied to success as you have shared it and are sharing it, really brings back that remembrance of dignity. And what is dignity? It is honoring of your own worthiness. So what does it actually do? It gets you to get all that is worthy about you. And you don't just get it, you actually honor it, which means you start owning it for yourself. And in doing so, you have now literally owned up to, taken charge of, and brought into your reality, conscious, unconscious, and subconscious reality, two of the three elements that you were born with. So you're humming nicely. So you're ready for the next secret. This secret, I was surprised by this label. It's something that I don't necessarily find that positive. And so I released meaning to it. The label for this secret is surrender. And it is surrender to the worthiness of you. That's what it is. And surrender applied as a secret that of regenerative success in this sequence. You're now at secret number 6. So by this time, there is more than enough that is already there. So that has been worked through in some detail. So when we bring in surrender as one of the secrets, what this does is it literally dissolves self-doubt, if that ever comes up. And it also dissolves, it doesn't dissolve, it dissolves self-doubt. It also repairs, it becomes like an auto repair of any fracture in your field that might have occurred because some other people are having a doubt about your own plans and your own descriptions of success. It can happen, you know. There are some people that we care about, and when they doubt us, we receive it and it creates a little fracture, and that fracture can grow. So, this surrender piece allows you to receive them without damaging your field. Your energetic field is anchored in the reality of how you have defined what success actually means for you. You already are well underway of regenerative success by the time you get to this secret. This secret arms you with the power of allowing. And when you arm yourself and you power yourself with allowing, you open yourself up to receive resources, connections, insights, openings, opportunities that you may not even be present to, that you may not have allowed in the past had you held very tight control over things. The surrender in the context of success literally opens the floodgates in such a way that you don't get flooded by them. You're able to receive all of this. I see it from my own experience. I declared what I wanted was a hurricane of abundance in every area of my life, flowing into every area of my life, making it easy and filled with joy. I had no idea when I said all areas of my life, how many areas of my life there were. I thought abundance equals money at the time when I first defined it. And then, of course, I started experiencing this phenomenal richness, including choosing to catapult myself from London all the way to Bali, and so on, and life progressed. But what it means is there is such a hurricane of abundance, and you're sharing some of this. Me sharing these 108 pearls of wisdom in this very precise, methodical way is a part of that hurricane of abundance. I am totally able to, without even trying, compartmentalize them. You know, I can do an intricate painting. I can be a very, connected business coach, and a very deep spiritual connection can coexist all at the same time, because I come from a state of surrender. And what does that do? It opens the doorway to allowing. What does that do? It opens the doorway to infinite possibilities. And all the way, I am honoring my own worthiness. So I am anchored in that honoring of my own worthiness. I am embracing dignity, which I'm born with. And the vibration that I am propelled by is one of humility. Knowing that I'm a vessel of fulfillment of the divine plan that I have signed up to bring forth in this lifetime. And each one of us has done that. It makes me know that I'm comfortable, even if I feel discomfort. I don't have to endure anything. If I choose to, I can choose to, but it is not endurance. Now we get to the seventh secret of regenerative success. And the seventh one is splendor. So just like we began with sharing, which was like a declaration that put a stake in the ground, as the first secret, the seventh secret of splendor is about celebration. It's about, really acknowledging the splendor of what just occurred, the splendor of what you experience yourself like, the splendor of what is now visible, what is now possible, what has now opened up for your business, for your team, for this particular relationship, wherever it is that you are choosing to focus your attention on, when you are looking at it with this secret of splendor, you start noticing and distilling and bring to the surface and then skimming the splendor of what you are witnessing. It is this secret that makes you what I call as an observer at a level of minutia, which gets you to be engaged in aliveness, not just breathing in and out, enduring life. You actually live your life, and you live aliveness in your splendor, and you become a magnet for everyone else's splendor, regardless of wherever they are, whatever they may be experiencing. It literally is, you find a whole new set of shoes, I call it, that you can choose to step into and start walking your path. Coming from a knowing that when you choose to walk your path towards your success in your splendor, remember, splendor is secret number 7. Doing it prematurely will not give you this experience in a regenerative way. Doing it as secret number 7 absolutely does. You literally start choosing that which is the best for you. It gives you such precise clarity. And when you choose that which is the best for you, it is the best for all. I'm not talking about a narcissistic grab me, greed, I am, it's just all about me type thing. It's a choice. Standing in your splendor, you start walking in your splendor, and you literally become this amazing magnet with a wake that magnetizes exactly what is required to open the path, to create a flow. You literally can take off and fly if that's what you require. You can just float for a bit, doggy paddle, as you experience your life, whatever it is. And the secret number 7, splendor, also gets you to reconnect and experience the vibe of rejoicing, because you just can't help it. Your heart opens up. You feel those tears of joy. You feel that complete oneness between your mind, your heart, and your gut. And this secret of success is the experience of thriving. Your thriving instinct reaches new heights. And it is beyond the point of any return. And from this point on, you are thriving, which means your survival is taken care of at every stage in your life. Those are the 7 secrets for regenerative success. Over to you, Catherine.
All right. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to be re-listening to this a few times. Thank you, Mynoo. I'm ready to put on my ruby slippers towards the hurricane of abundance. Thank you so much for putting that in the most beautiful way. And I would love for everyone to share their words and comments so I can read those to Mynoo. I know I'm like feeling this on a cellular level. This was so much, Mynoo. We could have done like 4 pearls in one night. Love it. So if everyone will go ahead and put their words in, I would love to read those for Mynoo. And Mynoo, you deliver this with such ease and grace. I'm like, she's not even out of breath. I'm out of breath for you.
I'm in the experience. This is the magic of presence, like really presencing your presence. So when you are there, you're whole and complete. There's such vibrant vitality in that.
I love that. I love how these just keep layering and layering, and yet they're independent on their own.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd love to read these words to you. We have Splendor always. Thank you, Mynoo. Love your energy. Magnificent. Success. Profound word indeed. Lots of data. Sorry, these are going so fast. Lots of data info that we need to absorb as knowledge. Yes, I'm going to read that again. Success. Profound word indeed. Lots of data info that we need to absorb as knowledge. Well put. And it's going to take a little while to let all that sink in. Fly, fly, fly. Ooh, la, fly. Wonderful. We always think that was coming from. Wow, brilliantly alive and joyful. So insightful. Thank you, Mynoo. Engaged in success in all areas of my life. Thank you, Mynoo. OMG, spot on. Thank you so much. This was huge for me. Every step makes sense. The dignity and worthiness resonates totally. I love your definitions. Huge light bulb moments. Your honesty and sharing is for me a hurricane of joy and abundance. Thank you. Oh, beautiful. Wow. It is a wow. I mean, tonight was a wow moment. Again, we've had a few of those. I feel like every pearl of wisdom is a wow, but they just keep getting juicier. More yumminess for all of us. Well, I know we're a little bit over time. So Mynoo, back over to you if there's anything else you want to share. What beautiful words, what beautiful
really, all that comes to me is go forth and multiply. Just go forth and multiply, Take the time, create a segment every single day, and it's your success segment. Doesn't need to be all day, but it could just be 10 minutes. But doing 10 minutes consistently every day, by the time we get to the next week, you would already have dived quite deep into each of the 7 secrets. Take that opportunity to experience all 7 of them in this sequence. Doing it in this sequence is the nuance here. That's what I would like to say. With that, I declare our session complete. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Mynoo. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you right here next week.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.